Hi everyone, I've got another miniature here for you now with Nikola Mitkov against Sergei Rublevsky, which was played in the European Clubs Cup in Neum in the year 2000. Mitkov is a GM from Macedonia and was rated 2578 when this game was played. Rublevsky is a very strong Russian GM who was rated 2695. So Mitkov had the white pieces and he started with e4, then came c5, knight f3, e6, d4, c takes d4, knight takes d4, a6, which is the Can variation of the Sicilian defense, and the point of playing a6 here is to stop this knight coming to b5. So play continued, knight c3, queen c7, which is all pretty standard book stuff for this opening, bishop d3, knight c6 and bishop e3, which is one of two main lines here, the other one being knight takes c6. So bishop e3, knight f6, white castled, and then knight e5, which is the most popular continuation at this point, and it's almost always met by h3, which is what was played in this game, to meet the threat of knight eg4 with threats on h2 as well as threats on this bishop, so it would pick up the bishop pair. Then came bishop c5, king h1, d6, f4 and knight g6, which is the most common response at this stage. Knight takes d3 is also possible, and after c takes d3, b5 is also playable, but white gets a strong center in this continuation, so knight g6 was played in this game anyway. And then came queen e1 with ideas about bringing the queen to the king side, as you'll see later in the game. And then Rublevsky castled here, which looks like it should be okay. It's looking fairly solid, but it might have been safer to play bishop d7 and leave the option open to castle queenside when his position would be fine. But he didn't do that anyway, he castled kingside. And then came f5, knight e5 and queen h4. So already these pieces are starting to coordinate against the king pretty well. And bishop d7 from Rublevsky. And here Mitkov played an unexpected and strong move. If you want to try and spot it, then stop the video now. Okay, what he played was rook f3, and the point of this play is whether or not black accepts the exchange sacrifice, white is going to get a rook to the g file, which is going to be a strong attacking force, as you'll see. And as it turned out, he did accept it with knight takes f3, so after g takes f3, and now the attacking chances down the g file more than compensate for the loss of the exchange. Here Rublevsky played king h8, which is fairly forced. It's really the best move, like other moves aren't so good. Say for example if e takes f5, then rook g1, threatening to win this knight with the queen because the g pawn is pinned now by the rook. So queen d8, and then e takes f5, and white would have a crushing attack with things coming like bishop g5 and these knights able to coordinate well, and it's it'll be winning for white. So e takes f5 is no good. Another possibility is queen b6 instead of king h8, queen b6. But after rook g1, bishop takes d4, e5 is very strong because it unleashes the dark squared bishop despite just having lost a piece. And if black tries to win another one, then rook takes g7 check, and it's a force mate in 8 no matter what black does. For example, if king takes g7, then e takes f6 check, king h8, f takes e6, bishop h6 just to stop the immediate mate threat, but after queen h6 it's mate very soon. So queen b6 is no good either, and king h8 is really the best move in this position. So then comes rook g1 from Mitkov and queen d8, which is the best shot at defense really, and it's the one that Fritz recommends. Other moves aren't so good, like for example if rook g8, then f takes e6, and after f takes e6, e5, unleashing the light square bishop again. After d takes e5, bishop g5 is very strong for white. And say bishop c6, and the reason that's played is because at the moment white is threatening to take this knight, and black won't be able to recapture with the pawn because of the mate threat, because h7 is undefended. But by playing bishop c6, h7 will be defended by the queen. But even then, after bishop takes f6, g takes f6, queen takes f6 check, rook g7 is well really the only move. And after rook takes g7, queen takes g7, queen takes g7 check, king takes g7. That would then come from white, knight takes e6 check, forking the bishop. So after, say for example, king h6, knight takes c5, bishop takes f3 check, king g1, and the endgame is relatively easy for white to win. So rook g8 doesn't work as a defense, and queen d8 really is the best move, and that's what was played in the game. So then comes e5 from Mitkov, again opening up lines against the black king, and d takes e5, and here Mitkov played another brilliant move. Again, if you want to try and see it, then stop the video now. Okay, what he played was rook takes g7. Another, well, it's an offered sacrifice, it wasn't accepted in the game, but yeah, just a great move, just blasting open the defenses of the black king. If it is accepted with king takes g7, then bishop to h6 check, and after king h8, bishop to g5, and this knight is pinned and attacked twice, and the only way to defend it again is bishop e7. But after f takes e6, opening up the attack on h7 from the bishop here at d3, it would be easily winning for white. So it's no good to take the rook with king takes g7, and if instead after rook takes g7, if e takes f5, then bishop to g5 is winning for white again. Here if bishop e7, then it's mate in 2 with bishop takes f6, bishop takes f6 and queen takes h7 mate. So it's no good, so the rook has to be left alone at this stage, and rook g8 was tried by Rublevsky, and after this came rook takes g8 check, and king takes g8 is basically forced. If knight takes g8, then f6, again with the threats on h7 is winning. If knight takes f6, then bishop g5, and it's easily winning for white. So king takes g8 is basically forced, and then came bishop g5 anyway, and Rublevsky tried bishop e7, then came knight e4, adding another attacker to this knight, and so the knight basically is forced to move, and knight d5 is really the only square for it to go, because it has to defend this bishop as well, because the bishop's attacked twice and it was only defended once by the queen. But then Mitkov played f6, and it's really not looking good for black. He tried queen b6, but this leads to a forced mate on 5, but Mitkov missed that, but he still played a strong move with knight c5. And here Rublevsky was probably, getting annoyed with how the game was going, and he just acted a bit impulsively and went with some material. But after queen takes c5 and queen takes h7 check, he resigned, because it's mate in 2. For example, king f8 and queen h8 is mate. So a brilliant game from Mitkov. I'll replay it with the threatened squares highlighted, just so you can see it again from start to finish. Yeah, so it was a can variation of the Sicilian defense, which isn't quite as popular as the Neudorf and the Dragon, but it's still seen a lot at top level play. There's a lot of tactical lines that you can go into, and it can be a very sharp game, as you saw there. But it was really the exchange sacrifice that livened things up. I mean, it's a position that's reached regularly at top level play, and at the time this game was played, the first exchange sacrifice, which is coming on the next move, I think. Yeah, here now. It had never been played before, and this was only 9 years ago, and it's incredible the amount of games that are played at that level that the move hadn't been considered before, but it hadn't, and as you saw, it led to a crushing win for white, who was the weaker player fairly considerably by about 120 points. So it was a great win for him, and a great miniature. It was over in 25 moves. So that's it. I hope you enjoyed that. Please leave any comments or thoughts. Thanks very much.